Hello and welcome back to another episode of Live Laugh, Lily Kincade with your girl, your host, Lily Kincade. Welcome back, y'all. I know this is unconventional. I'm posting this episode not on the regularly scheduled Monday. I'm back in California. As you can tell, if you've been following along every week, when you see my real piano, that's how you know I'm in California, which I'm very happy to be back on the West Coast. It is, unfortunately, kind of bad-ish weather here. It has been raining, but, California needed the rain. But I'm so excited for summer. You guys, daylight savings happened. I feel like there's just so much. I picked out my album cover. All of my songs for the album are being mixed. A lot is happening, but I'm excited to be here right now. Sit down, take a moment to chat with y'all, and just be here. I feel like I always say I started doing this podcast because there's such a long period of time between writing a song and then having it come out. And, my songs are like my diary where I'm talking about my feelings and emotions and things I'm going through. And I love this podcast because it's more real time. I basically, whatever I'm going through, whatever I need a refresher on, or if there's any specific things, you guys can always DM me. But whatever I'm going through, I'm like, you know what? We are all human and we are so much more alike than we are different. So if I'm going through something, I'm sure there's somebody else out there who is also going through it. So we kind of just talk about it. So if this is your first episode, that's just kind of what to expect. But today I have a really good episode planned. Because I needed this refresher. And I had a couple of you guys over on X, which if you don't follow me on X, everything is linked down below, but you should. And I have like a little community. It's free to join. Same on Instagram, called Lily's Life, with a cute little flower. But I was asking you guys like, okay, what should I talk about? What do you need help on? And today we are talking about how you'll never lose if you bet on yourself. This is something that is, I wouldn't say like I've always done, but I've always had a belief in myself because I've just been like, I was just instilled with that from a very early age. But it is something that you do need to refresh yourself on. Because, especially with social media, and we're constantly seeing all these amazing things, it's really difficult, and you're going to go through periods and moments where it feels like nobody's watching. Sometimes I release a song and I'm like, it feels like no one's listening to this. It feels like no one's seeing this. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing it for eyeballs. I'm not doing it for attention. I'm doing it for myself. And if I believe in it, then there's surely somebody else out there in the world who also believes in it. And it just may be a matter of time, Anyways. Okay, I feel like I'm out of breath. I just did that in one breath. Hi, you guys. I just want to give you a hug. I can't wait to start playing shows and meeting you guys. It's going to be like the best time and the best feeling ever. I just love this. I feel like we're growing very slowly but surely. Also, I'm in a dilemma. I'm not in a dilemma. You guys. Okay, first of all, I'm not in a dilemma because look, I can always pin my bangs back. My hair grows so fast. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have that problem, but I'm really excited because tomorrow I'm getting my hair done. My hair dyed, and because my hair has just been growing so fast and my bangs cut so I can finally see, but I miss my bangs. I just like feel so like on, especially for this first era of music. Like maybe for album 2, I'll change my look, but I'm like the albums, I need to have my look, my hair look for the first album, Anyways, hi you guys. We start every episode off with a quote relating to the title. I have 2 quotes that I saved on my phone, so I'm going to read them to you guys now. Okay. Quote number 1 is by Pete Wentz. Always bet on yourself, no matter what the odds are. It means more to be in the race than to watch the victory laps from the stands. One more time for y'all. Always bet on yourself, no matter what the odds are. It means more to be in the race than to watch the victory laps from the stands. It's a good one. I have one more for you guys, and it is by Robert Greene, who's an amazing author. You should go check out some of his books. That's a little side plug. And it is, you must always be prepared to place a bet on yourself by heading in a direction that others seem to fear. Once again, you must always be prepared to place a bet on yourself by heading in a direction that others seem to fear. I love that because betting on yourself, it's like, you know what, why would you bet on, everything in life is uncertain, but if there's the only thing you can really control is your actions. We can't control the environment. We can't control the things that happen around us or that happen to other people, but you can control the promises you make to yourself. You can control like yourself to an extent. Like you said you're going to do this, you can control yourself. And so you wake up and you do that, Anyways, I took notes. You guys, I told you it's going to be a good episode. I took notes on my cute little pink notepad. So I hope you guys are taking notes too. If you're just listening, if you find any good tidbits, you can always go back, write them down in your notes app later. You know the drill. Okay. Something making noise. I swear I heard something making noise. Am I going crazy? Oh my God. Spirits be gone. We bless this podcast. This podcast can be blessed in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. Sometimes I like hear things. Not hear things. I think it's just when you're a singer, my brain is always hearing sounds. Like sometimes I'll be writing a song and I'll hear like a melody in my head and it won't go away. And I'll think people are talking to me, but they're not. It's just a melody in my head and my brain is like subconsciously working on it. It sounds crazy, but it's just, we love it. Okay. This episode is going to be for anybody who's been doubting themselves, who has been playing it small, who's been diminishing their goals. Like this episode is for the person who, when people are like, what do you do? And you're like, well, I kind of do this, and you feel embarrassed. I used to be that person. Okay. I used to do that when people be like, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm like a songwriter. And like, I wouldn't be like, I'm an artist and I write my own songs. I would be insecure. And I'm like, why do I do that? Why do we do that? No, first of all, you need to own what you do because you're doing it. It's like how they say like, you're invited to the room too. If you were invited to an event and you feel like you have to play small, you were invited to the event. Do not play small. Anyways. Okay. So before I give you my little like tips, I guess that can kind of help you, I want to break down like a lot of times you need to understand the reason why you are like not afraid, but like the reason why you don't do something, because you can't just mask it. And like, yeah, you can fake it till you make it and that works. But if you don't really understand why you don't, then it's really difficult to undo that. Like for me, for example, it's always easy to use personal examples. So that's kind of what I'll be doing in this episode. But for me, like I would be like the most common reasons why people don't bet on themselves or they feel insecure is because they are scared of success. They are scared of failure. They are afraid they're going to be judged if they do something that's, maybe unconventional, or maybe like their family, their friends looks down upon that career or down upon that choice. They feel like they're going to be, made fun of or whatever it may be. And, it's very interesting to see because if you really look at it, a lot of times it's a totally false belief. Like if you do something, if you're scared to do something in your head, you're like, people are going to make fun of me. Who's going to make fun of you? Like really think about it. Like go through the people that you're afraid are going to make fun of you. And then think about like, are they really going to make fun of me? Like, would they really go out of their way to make a fake account and bully me? Yes. Okay. Some people maybe yes, but people that love and care about you. We don't care about the opinions of people we don't care about. Okay. It's mainly the people that we do love, because if we do love them and they do love us and they're good people, they want the best for us, So in reality, it's like all of these things, you have to break it down. So I want you, if there's something you're holding back, maybe it's a goal, maybe it's I really want to go to this school and I'm afraid people are going to make fun of me. My family's not going to like it, whatever it may be. I want you to like break it down and be like, why am I afraid to commit to this? Why am I afraid to tell people I'm moving across the country to start doing a career? Why am I afraid to tell people that, I actually don't want to go to college. I actually want to try working and being my own business owner and then maybe go back to school when I'm older. Sit down and think about like, why are you afraid of doing that? Is it judgment? Is it fear? And I want you to break it down. And like, this sounds silly, but close your eyes and have an imaginary, picture that moment in your head and have that conversation with those people. Tell them, I think it is my phone. Wait, hold on a second. I got to silence my phone. I knew I wasn't hearing sounds. The first thing I was going to say is, oh my gosh, you guys, life is crazy right now, but in a good way. The first thing I was going to say is like, have that conversation in your head and really work through it. Because the thing is, when you really think about it, it is so small the things holding you back. It's often like something that is not factual. Like, oh, they're going to say it's silly or stupid, but they haven't said it yet. So it's not even a real thing that's stopping you. It's not like an actual thing like, oh, I don't have money to move across the country to go to this school. That's what I'm telling you. It's like that fear isn't even valid. So already we're off to a great place, because if it's not a physical obstacle and it's just a mental fear obstacle, you can get around it just like I got around mine. So, it's like basically this little part of this rant is basically me summing up how like everybody is scared of things. We all are afraid, not all the time, but there's little moments of doubt because we are all human. We all are way more similar than we are different. I always say that, and it's so true. And the only thing that makes people different from the people that actually go after their goals and that do something unconventional and that are, leaders and do start their own business. For me, example, like people that are also singers, it's like they push through that. And if you want to be somebody that is like that, you have to push through it. Me being a musician and an artist that writes her own songs, I always like think about my inspiration. Okay, hello, I'm back. We had some mere technical difficulties. I accidentally was trying to plug in my computer and I unplugged the Apollo. But we're here. We problem solved and we worked through, and we're going to get right back to it. You guys. So basically, what I left on 5 minutes ago was how what separates the people that are actually doing it is that they push through that. We are all human. We all have fear. We all have doubts. There's days where I literally am doubting myself, but I know that that is not the truth. Thoughts are just thoughts. Your feelings aren't facts. And so you're allowed to be doubtful. You're allowed to be anxious. You know, if anything, I always tell myself that if I'm not a little scared of something or a little like, oh my God, I've never done this before, like that is a sign that almost like it's not outside of my comfort zone and it's not almost like big enough. It's not a big enough goal for me to have to work through things, because if we just do things that are easy for us and we just do things that are comfortable and that, you know, we don't have to stretch ourselves and be a little bit scared or learn new skills, we're not going to get anywhere in life. You have to go outside of your comfort zone and you have to try new things. And, you know, me being a musician, I always, whenever I'm doubting myself, I like remember my inspirations and who I grew up with, how long it took them. And like, I literally wrote these names down. I grew up on Taylor Swift, Lana Del Rey, and Casey Musgraves. I love them all. And I would say my music is like a combination of theirs with a bunch of other influences as well. But I definitely love them. And you know, I was looking this up to tell you guys, and like Lana Del Rey was making music and releasing music for about 10 years before Born to Die was released. She was putting out, I mean, we all know, we've all heard the either unreleased old Lana Del Rey or like, you know, her Made Jailer stuff or Sparkle Jump Rope Queen, but she was releasing music and playing it and putting it out in the world for 10 years before Born to Die. Her first like studio debut album came out. You have to keep going and push through that stuff. The reason why she is who she is because she never gave up and she kept going. Same with Casey Musgraves. She was making music in like the early 2000s. She was in like a duo, a band, and then she had her own stuff. Then she moved to Nashville, and in 2013 was when she released her debut studio album. But she was making music in the early 2000s. You gotta just keep going, you guys. I tell you all the time. And then Taylor Swift, we obviously know Taylor Swift, and people often see her like, oh, she's just been famous since she was really young. But even before debut, you know, when I think she moved to Nashville around like 13, 14, but when she was 11, I remember reading this story everywhere where she would go to the record labels and hand them demo CDs and stuff, and she would play shows and she would stand outside for 3 hours. Like she was doing that even before debut or even before Fearless. It's going to take time, but you have to push through it. You have to push through it. Okay. We're on the next page of notes. This is important because these are the steps to help you bet on yourself, because when you bet on yourself, you never lose. But these are the steps I like to take. There's 4 steps. It's very easy, very simple, okay? 4 steps. Step number 1, you have to act like you already have what you're going for. Or like you have to act, your actions have to match the lifestyle, the discipline, the confidence of the person who already has it. If you are like, I want to be an Olympic athlete, you have to, how would that Olympic athlete train? How would they sleep? What nutrition would they eat? Who would they hang out with? Would they be very particular because maybe their schedule's really busy and they don't have a lot of time? Would they be partying? Would they be staying up late? You need to already in your head, if whatever goal, and you can do this for multiple goals, but this is for like one goal at a time. Step 1 is like you need to like think about, if you already had all that, what would you be doing? And write it down so that you can do it in your life right now, because that's how you're gonna like reverse engineer to get to that place. And it sounds silly, but I do this all the time. That's why I literally started wearing like glitter and fake eyelashes. I never used to wear fake eyelashes until about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I literally wore them. I remember when I was in like middle school, when I grew up competitive dancing, so I would do dance competitions, we would do fake eyelashes. But it wasn't until I did a photo shoot in 2023 and I was like, oh my God, I miss fake eyelashes. I like forgot about fake eyelashes. But I started wearing them because I'm like, okay, when I'm on stage performing, I'm gonna wear fake eyelashes because I like it, because it makes my eyes look like more dramatic. You can see them from further away, so then the back audience still can see like my fun glitter I put on. You have to dress like you have that thing now. Eat like you have that thing now. What would that person listen to? What would they, would they be really negative to themselves, or would they be really positive and hype themselves up? You have to act as if you already have it now. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is you need to be very careful with how you talk to yourself, because the power of life and death is in the tongue. And when you have these goals, you can be very negative because it on ourselves. We all are our own worst, like biggest critic, and I just want you to be mindful of this. And think about if you had a friend or a family member or a boyfriend, girlfriend, a close loved one that was going for this goal that you're going for, would you ever talk to them? Even if they were like not making that much progress, would you ever talk to them the way that you talk to yourself? The answer is no. And if the answer is yes, you need to get a journal or go to therapy, because that's not normal. I want you to remember that, because there's going to be times where you're like, I'm so far away from my goal. This feels embarrassing. I feel stupid, etc. But I want you to remember, would you ever say that to a friend or loved one that was going after that goal? Because if you wouldn't, then you need to not say it to yourself, and you need to check yourself and go back to step one and like really empower yourself with the actions of that person. Don't you think that like Lana, Taylor, all these people were hated on by so many people? They were doubted time and time and time again. But the thing that made them different is they kept going. They kept pushing through, and they betted on themselves. They didn't bet on what a magazine was saying, on what a news article was saying, because they were like, okay, they can say whatever they want, but I'm going to choose my opinion, and I believe that I'm going to make it if I keep putting in the work and keep going no matter what anyone tells me. Number 3, make small, smart, achievable goals towards the big goal that will help increase your confidence and actually get you there. There's a bunch of tips. I have a video that's like fully about increasing confidence in my podcast. You can probably find it on my podcast homepage. I think it's in season 1 or season 2. I have a lot. You should just listen to them all. But this is something that like scientists have actually studied, that when you achieve goals, it reaffirms this belief in yourself that you can achieve things. Like when you set a specific goal, if you're like, I'm going to run 3 miles today, and you run 3 miles, in your brain, it's like, it builds the confidence level in yourself because you followed through. That's why I always say, like, you have to keep the promises you make to yourself. Like, they're even more important psychologically than the promises you make to other people, because the promises you make to yourself and you break, even if you're like, oh, it doesn't really matter, your brain knows. Your brain knows, you guys. And so like even me, sometimes I'm like, oh, I said I was going to like run 2 miles today, and it's 11 p.m. and I'm like, oh, I have to run 2 miles, because I know the amount of damage that it will do to my inner psyche and brain if I set a promise and talk to myself about it and write it down. My brain knows I told myself I was going to do that. So by making smart goals, it's going to actually increase your confidence level and get you towards the big goal. So you're like, Lily, that sounds great. I'm going to make little goals. What is SMART goals? SMART goals. You've probably heard of this. I feel like they teach this in school, but I've started writing you can do your goals on a notes app or something digital, but I love writing them in my journal. There's something about handwriting that just makes it more real, makes it feel like, I don't know, like I like signed a document and I have to do it. But SMART goals, SMART is an acronym. So it stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based or time-bound goals. So I want you to think about whatever this goal is, whatever it is for yourself that you're betting on, and break it up into small things that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-based. Because by hitting these, you're actually going to make progress towards your goal, but you're also going to increase the confidence in yourself, which is going to make it easier to continue to bet on yourself when, haters come along. Because I'm telling you, people throw rocks at things that shine. People just start to see you thriving and they get jealous or they get insecure, and they're going to come for you, but you're going to be prepared. You're going to be able to bet on yourself. And number four is not really a specific step, but it's just a reminder, is number 4, the people that are actually betting on themselves, they don't wait. They don't wait for the perfect day. They don't wait for somebody to save them, to find them. They actually just take action. They don't wait for somebody to tell them, oh my God, this is a good enough song, you should put it out. They just put it out, and they keep putting out until somebody notices, and they keep putting out no matter what. And the truth is, like, I don't think you will ever feel ready or feel confident enough or feel like you're ready. I think you just got to do it. You got to like Nike said, just do it. And this reminds me of me, like when I was releasing my first EP, which is going to be 5 years old in September, or November 13th, 2020 is when I put it out. But I should do a whole episode kind of talking about that. If you guys want to know how I make music, or like as an independent artist, how I kind of got started, let me know. As always, you can DM me on anything, or you can comment below, or etc. You should also sign up for my website. You guys have a newsletter and merch that I'm slowly adding. The Mr. Hollywood collection of merch is out, and I'm adding more and more, and it's so exciting. I blog on there too. Just cool, because if TikTok, Instagram all goes away, I want to still be able to chat with y'all and keep in touch, which is awesome. But okay, that was a side tangent. The truth is, like, you'll never feel ready. And for me, my first EP I released almost 5 years ago. And the crazy thing is, like, I've been making music since I was younger. I'd put out music when I was younger, but I was writing, and I was like, it hit me one day. I had written Sweet and Low right here, sitting on this floor, on this piano, on my computer, on Zoom with my friends from Canada. And I remember being like, I love this song. And then I was like, wait, I have a lot of songs I like. Why am I not putting these out? What am I waiting for? I was waiting for a record deal. I was waiting for a manager, but I was like, you know what? Why would I wait? Like, why not put this out? It's not for me. I'm not writing these songs and putting it out so, like, oh my God, so a lot of people can hear my music so I can be famous. It's like, no, I'm making these songs because they're about something that happened to me or my emotions. And I like, it's a way for me to express myself. And if one person hears it and it connects with them, then I should just put it out. And I remember being like, you know what? I'm done waiting. I'm going to put it out. I released that song September 18th, 2020. And like, that was like the start of me just taking action. So step number 4, take action. Let's review those real fast before we go. Step number 1, this is steps to be the person that bets on themselves. Step number 1, act like you already are that person. Dress like them. Talk like them. Go to the places they would go, because it's going to be you soon. So you got to prepare yourself and get ready for it. Step number 2, talk to yourself like you would a friend achieving that goal. Be very careful about what you allow to come out of your mouth. Like, even if you think it, kill the thought in your head. Do not speak it into existence. Step number 3, make smart goals. Towards your big goal, write them down and hold yourself accountable. SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-based / time-bound goals. And number 4 is just start. Don't wait until you're ready, because you're never going to feel ready. So you guys got this. I'm here for you. We're going through life together. We are literally, I feel like we're all about to become these next generation leaders. Like, we're just doing things, and I'm happy that we're doing it together. So I love y'all, and thanks for sticking around to this episode, even though we had some technical difficulties in the beginning. Look, we pushed through. Yeah, I love you guys. Make sure to subscribe. Give this 5 stars if you're watching this over on Spotify. Let's do our affirmation from my 2nd grade teacher, Mrs. Goncher, that she had us say every single day in 2nd grade. Favorite year of school ever. I always say that, but I love it. And let's do it together to sign off. Ready? Today is a wonderful day. I am confident because I am a problem solver. I always have options because I choose to be optimistic. Today I will learn something new, laugh, and make a difference in someone else's life. I love you guys so much. And here's a little, you can screenshot this if you want to use this, as a reminder. You can put this on your phone background, or you can print this off, put it in your journal as me saying, you'll never lose if you bet on yourself. I'm going to put the mic down so you can really see it and you can really believe this and soak it in. I want you to say this to yourself in the mirror every day. You'll never lose if you bet on yourself. Period. I love y'all. Thanks for letting me do all my crazy antics. I love y'all. I'm going to go to sleep now. I'm recording this at nighttime because I was in a session today writing a new song. We're here, we're writing, we're working on things. We never stop, but I love y'all so much. And thanks for listening and watching. Send this to a friend and keep spreading the love.